Welcome to Something Crunchy. Tyler is homies with Blake. Blake is the older bro of Blair. Blair is married to Tyler and is a slutty slut.
Welcome to Something Crunchy.
What the hell is crunchy?
Welcome to Something Crunchy. All right, back in the studio with Tyler D and Polygamy. Let's put them up.
No.
How are we feeling tonight?
Oh, Blair. Jeez.
If I was any more full-on chicken, I'd be shit nuggets.
Right?
Oh, my God.
If I was any more full of chicken, I'd be growing feathers.
I'm about to cluck.
We have taken on the great debate. We have stood our ground.
We have.
In the battle.
Mm-hmm.
The great chicken debate.
Let's discuss
I got the tummy pain
the
to prove
war of the chicken sandwiches. We ate all of them.
All of them. Some of the ones that weren't even on the list.
And Whataburger.
Too many.
So the main deal this summer, the chicken sandwich war. Popeyes.
The hot social media debate.
Popeyes outvoted Chick-fil-A as the greatest chicken sandwich. That hadn't happened in like a decade. It's a big deal.
That is a big deal.
So they started talking shit on Twitter, and then Wendy's got in on it, and then the three of them all talking shit. So we got those sandwiches. We got two of them from Popeyes. I went in there. I was like, dude, I haven't had one of these yet, but we're talking about it on the podcast later. I was like, I need...
Give me your 5
I was like, I need the chicken war sandwich. And he was like, kind of give me this look. I'm like, the one with all the fuss about.
Everybody's talking about.
I'm like, the chicken sandwich. He goes, and he just points, and there's like 2 piles of chicken sandwiches. He goes, we got mild and we got spicy. And I was like, okay, all right. Well, which one, won the chicken sandwich
Which
war?
one went up for the
Like,
challenge?
I was like, I'm here for the fucking sandwich, man.
Yeah,
Like,
yes. I'm not the only one.
you know what I'm
talking
here.
about
Like,
this.
weren't you out of these fucking sandwiches like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah,
like,
which one did you used to be out of that you have a pile of now? That's the one I want.
I'm here for the sandwich. And so I got one of both, as you know.
Right.
Yep.
And so we got the Wendy's.
We did.
Whataburger was next door, so we grabbed the Whata chicken.
What a chicken. Yep. Chick-fil-A.
Texas
Solid choice.
classic,
And
had to
then
do
the
it.
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, and a Chick-fil-A.
This was hard, first
Not
off.
I
for
didn't think
me.
it was that hard.
Not for me.
I didn't think it was that
Well, I
hard.
was coming a bit biased for a few of them, but then everything changed.
Well, you
so
love
it
the
was
Chick-fil-A
interesting.
sandwich for nostalgic reasons. And
And-
when you open that thing
I
up, if
just-
we're just jumping into the presentation of them,
Yeah.
Tyler had the best way of describing what the Chick-fil-A sandwich looked like in comparison to the other Chick sandwiches that were there.
Well, what did I say?
You said that the Chick-fil-A sandwich looked like the black and white version on the burger commercial before they show you the like good juicy one.
Oh, yeah.
Are you tired of the same old boring burger? And it looked pathetic, but that came in second place for me. I thought that was a close second.
Yeah.
To Popeyes.
sure.
I mean, I think overall,
I hadn't
Popeyes won
had
it
the
for
Popeyes
me.
at
neither.
all yet, so this
Me
was
neither.
completely new. I've had Wendy's, I've had Chick-fil-A, obviously. Like,
I get what the fuss is about.
and I mean, I do love Chick-fil-A. I've grown just.
I still don't
But
think any of those
Popeyes-
sandwiches have anything on the Chick-fil-A chicken
Okay.
club sandwich. That is like their
So
best
going
sandwich.
through.
That one's grilled, though.
It is.
Yeah.
It's-
So
and it
going
wasn't part
through
of
with the
this debate.
Popeyes, so you brought the regular and the spicy.
Yep.
For me, I mean, the regular was like okay. I mean, it had like thick chicken. I usually don't love like the extra thick.
You gonna give us your rundown,
chicken.
the official review?
Well, I'm just
Well,
going between regular.
This reminds
and
me
spicy
of her
and Popeye.
official review while we were eating it. She just wouldn't shut up about the
thickness.
thickness of the chicken was very important to Blair.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Well, there's
I was
such
like
different
taste,
thicknesses.
spices, presentation, bun.
Well, the Whata chicken
overall.
was like a way thinner, bigger piece of chicken.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
Popeyes had like a fat piece.
Big ol'
Chick-fil-A
thick
had a
piece.
big old thick piece.
Thicky Thickerson.
Thicker. But no. Okay, so Popeyes reggae was like okay for
Yeah.
me.
Oh,
But
see, I thought that was
It's high on the list for me.
tied for the best
No,
with the
the-
spicy Popeyes.
no, I would say Chick-fil-A was like the closest second to that Popeyes spicy.
You love the Popeye
At
spicy.
first, the first bite was like explosion of spicy flavor. But to me, I'm like the biggest wuss when it comes to spicy
Right,
stuff.
you
so,
are.
Well, let's start with bag appeal.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Who had the best bag appeal for you?
I thought hands down it was Whataburger.
Straight out the bag. Me
Yeah,
too.
Whataburger looks
Whataburger.
good. They always, it's like always a big amount.
I thought Whataburger looked best out of the bag.
Yeah, me too. I agree.
Good,
thought-
like wheat bun. You know that there was like some good.
Like it looked huge. Things were hanging out the side of it. Like
Right.
it
Well
looked
put
like
together.
It was a pretty sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Number 2 on the list for me was Popeye's spicy.
Yep.
Definitely.
Looked
Oh, it
good.
just looked
It's
amazing.
a handsome sandwich.
You could tell that there's some sauce. There's some sauce
Yeah,
on
there
it.
was some sauce on there. See, and the
sauce kinda
Wendy's
made
one
it, too.
looked okay for a second, but it looked kind of small, and like the Chick-fil-A. I thought the presentation was just
That
a
was
little
last on the
a little
list for me.
weak. I mean,
I don't know.
you love the spicy from Popeye's Blair. How would you
Yeah.
compare it to the Wendy's one?
Well, the spiciness is like so different because Popeyes uses a spicy mayo,
Right.
Where
That's what makes
Wendy's
it spicy.
does
Yeah.
like a spicy breading like on the chicken that doesn't necessarily taste like this like real spice. Like it's like a weird.
It's a rub.
It's a rub.
It's a rub.
Maybe.
A
Oh
dusting.
yes.
A light flaking of
Yeah.
spiced rub.
right?
So I actually, as far as Wendy's goes, I actually would take probably the spicy over the regular.
Do they
Probably
even make a
both.
regular? I thought it was
Wendy's
only.
No, I think they-
makes a classic chicken.
I think they make it regular.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
I think
But
they do.
but Popeyes with like it's like the regular chicken, but uses the spicy mayo, and it is so good. Like I kept going back and was like, oh man, that piece is already gone.
I can't believe we tackled all 5 of those sandwiches.
Oh my god, just overload of
I think
chicken.
we only needed like a couple of bites of each. I wouldn't have made it if
man.
it was an entire sandwich each. Oh,
But I
mean-
could do chicken sandwiches if anything. But Chick-fil-A, you know how hard it is to beat Chick-fil-A in my book. Like I like
There's
in
a
every
nostalgia
bite,
factor
like,
to Chick-fil-A.
You could,
That-
you
that's
could
the
line up
long-lasting
15
winner.
chicken sandwiches, and I could like immediately target
No,
it.
I think it's been
Chick-fil-A.
dethroned. I'm on the side of Popeyes. I thought both of their sandwiches
Agreed.
were better than Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A was shortly behind them. They were good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. It's like funny with Chick-fil-A, they have like just like that particular like Chick-fil-A flavor. Like you can even
extra salt.
is that
Yeah.
where you can get a sandwich with no pickle, but like you still kind of taste it.
You still kind of tasted.
You're like somewhere.
That,
there was-
that pisses me off when you could tell
actually
they
don't
just,
mind the hint
they
of it, but I
just
do-
took off the pickle when you say no pickle.
Where it's like,
Like,
do you put the chicken?
what
with-
if you had a pickle allergy?
There's still
if you're a
pickle
vinegar-
remnants all over that chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit of pickle, like even if you just take it off right away, I knew it was there.
Goes a long way. Here's my list
I want to hear it.
from top to bottom.
Okay.
Number 1, all time, Popeye Spicy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Agree.
I agree.
I gave it a 9 out of 10
Okay.
overall.
It's a good rating for you.
Yeah, that's a high rating.
It's a medium spice. It sticks around for me. Like
Yeah.
like a couple of minutes afterwards,
Yeah.
Some of the other ones, like you could taste the spice, but it was gone within 2 or 3 seconds. in your
Right.
mouth. This one stuck around. It had a little hang time. Little 2-3 minute hang time. I needed
Speaking of hang time,
2 sodas.
yeah. Blair, can you open up that window there?
Oh, it's gonna get bad. Isn't it?
Coming in next, tied was the original Popeyes chicken sandwich and the Chick-fil-A.
See, I
chicken
completely
sandwich.
agree. And as disappointing as the Chick-fil-A sandwich looked, it really did taste like
Amazing.
Amazing. Better
Yeah,
than
it
the
was
Whata
good.
chicken and better than the Wendy's. I thought the Whata chicken was pretty dry. It looked like the best one.
It had a real juicy tomato on there.
It was pretty dry.
I could tell you which one wasn't dry. Wendy's, because they love over mayo. Like,
They
the
soaked
sandwich.
That was on the
puppy
bottom
down.
of my list. I gave that a 4.5 out of 10. It's just
4.5
Wow.
spoonfuls of mayo
it's
on
good
that little
enough to
chicken
eat
sandwich.
on a road
The
trip,
chicken's not
but
bad. It's just over mayoed.
it's just like a sour cream dollop worth of mayo on
You have
top.
to scrape my bun. Like
Before I give it to you,
every
I
time.
pre-scrape your bun, and then you post-scrape again to get the remnants that
There's a
I might have
process.
missed.
Blair loves a pre-scraped bun.
My baby knows what I like.
But Popeye is spicy for me all day. Number one, 9 out
That
of
was
10.
such a like a surprise.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was gonna get me that good, but I love Popeyes in general. I've always gotten like their tenders and some other good things, so I knew it was gonna be good. But
Yeah.
I'm just glad we like finally did this challenge.
Right?
I mean,
The old school Popeyes eating guide. They're on just about every Air
We're a
Force
little
base
late
in the
for
world.
like the
Oh,
challenge,
so
but
good.
it still needed to
Yeah.
be done. Our input needed to be had. I needed to know who won.
we just needed to definitely go through.
No, that's good. It was a good chicken battle.
Yeah.
It was
It was chicken warfare.
chicken warfare. Is there any
I'm feeling
is
it.
there any others do you feel that deserve to be
Everybody's
in the
got
game?
one, but I
there's
feel
a
like
lot of good
those are the
ones.
go-tos.
KFC has like a chicken sandy.
See, that one I've heard has been talked about.
Yeah.
The snacker
Should
was
we
good.
have gotten the snacker was pretty good.
It's pretty good.
But I feel like it would have been above Wendy's, but not.
Just a notch, though. Like, it couldn't have
Not-
competed with the Popeyes and the Chick-fil-A's of
No.
the world.
There's a reason that they were on top. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Big ups.
Way
Well
to go,
done.
Popeyes.
Nicely done. With that said, let's take a break.
Enjoying something crunchy? Follow us on social media and tweet us your comments and questions at crunch_cast. We encourage you to participate and thank you for listening.
And we are back.
Yeah.
Yes.
That could only mean
Oh,
one
that
thing.
makes me so happy to hear that.
2 seconds worth of
I
audio.
know.
I
I'm
already
just
know what that is.
Yoked.
I must say that when it comes to this next segment,
I'm so excited! I'm so excited! I'm so scared!
One of my favorite shows.
it is the
Pat the
30th
Bell.
year anniversary.
No way.
It is. And it is Something Crunchy's salute to Say by the Bell.
Yes.
It's an iconic.
I think it was
High
my
school show.
first favorite show I ever had.
It probably was my first favorite show.
I grew up. I didn't realize I literally grew up.
I mean,
Saved
I'd
by
be
the
a loss
Bell.
for identity without Zach Morris, and I mean,
I wouldn't know how to be cool without him. That's for sure.
Without him and the Fresh Prince, like me in the '90s, kiss class president goodbye. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
And Kelly Kapowski, I mean, if she wasn't everybody's first,
First semi.
boy girl thing,
Yeah, for sure.
I'm pretty sure Blair
Oh,
first
definitely.
cranked it to Kapowski.
No, not to Zach, but to Kelly.
Kelly. It's like Zach's cute, but Kelly.
Everybody.
Did you see Kelly?
If you weren't in love with Kelly,
Something's
come
wrong
on.
with you. You're
You,
blind.
you didn't have a
Oh, yeah.
television.
Yeah. You hadn't seen the show yet.
I just love Zach and Kelly together.
30 years ago, Saved by the Bell premiered on NBC. Any real Saved by the Bell fan knows that wasn't technically the beginning of the show, as Disney Channel aired a 13-episode series called Good Morning, Miss Bliss.
Of course.
The previous year, featuring Zach, Screech, Lisa, Mr. Belding, and a host of other characters. The series was set at a middle school in Indiana. As the show was retooled for high school at an NBC, many characters, including the main character and Miss Bliss, were dropped, and the show got transported to Southern California. So Saved by the Bell sort of began in 1988, but Saved by the Bell as we know it, being the most iconic high school show of all time, began on August 20th, 1989, 30 years ago.
That's incredible. Did they ever refer back to the move? Did anybody say anything about
No.
we used to be in Indiana and
No.
now I don't
No.
remember anything about that.
No, it was kind of like almost a spin-off or like a reboot, because they didn't ever address any of the other characters. Like, it wasn't as if Lisa,
something happened to
Mr.
Miss
Belding,
Bliss.
Zach, and Screech all moved from Indiana to
Right.
California the same summer,
Hey, look.
and then went to the same school.
Everybody's
Like,
going to Bayside.
Yeah, no
Same
way.
principal and everything.
No way.
Let's follow Mr. B. He's pretty cool.
Right?
He knows what's up.
There's a movie about that. I mean, speaking of which, like to talk about how big Saved by the Bell is, in addition to the Good Morning Miss Bliss, and then the original series, plus the college years,
Yep.
and the new
Love 'em
class.
Yep.
Then there's the 2 movies. They've also
Oh my
there's been a
God.
comic strip about it.
What?
Do you remember the episode where Mr. Belding's brother Rod Belding comes
I feel like I
and
remember that
was supposed
for
to take
sure.
him on the like
River rafting
Yeah,
trip?
on the river rafting trip.
Oh,
and
yeah.
God, you
doesn't
do
to be with a
remember.
stewardess or something like that. Tyler's
remember
excited
Rod.
for trivia.
He had all his hair.
Anyway,
Oh,
so
he's gonna do
yeah,
well.
He was Mr. Cool.
he wasn't Mr. Actor. He
No,
turned
no.
into a real estate agent, but he did direct a small movie that was about like 3 guys going to California to like find Mr. Belding or like it was something like that.
A spin-off
forget.
movie?
Yeah. But there's been all kinds of stuff, and there's also been a reboot talk for years and
I'm
years
sure.
and years and years and years. And it's happening.
Oh.
NBC
What?
Universal has announced that a reboot of the beloved 90s Saturday morning show featuring
Yes.
original
What?
stars Mario Lopez and Elizabeth Berkley that will air on its new streaming service, which will be called Peacock.
Of course.
Wait, so is it just them two?
That's all we have from the confirmed from the original.
Hey.
There'll probably be cameos and such.
Okay. I'm happy with that.
Would you be happy with like hearing a little premise?
Well, of course.
What's up with MPG? No
See-
more MPGs?
Seems pretty interesting here. When California Governor Zach Morris gets into hot water for closing too many low-income high schools, he proposes they send the affected students to the highest performing schools in the state, including Bayside High. The influx of new students gives the overprivileged Bayside kids a much-needed and hilarious dose of reality, reads a statement about the show. It's not clear if any of the sitcom's other stars, including Mark Paul Gosselaar, who played Zach, will be involved. The updated show joins Punky Brewster and Battlestar Galactica
Yeah.
that will be rebooted on Peacock. The streaming service will launch in April 2020.
Peacock.
Faux 2020.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, I'm stoked for some of that.
That's
Yeah,
exciting.
I'll
Yeah.
definitely check it out.
I'm excited for it to come back because it left everybody wanting more, and since then
course.
it's just been books and bullshit.
yeah, and
And-
lots of fluff.
Yeah, the most interesting that's come out has come from the guy who's been in sex tapes and stabbings, and
Yeah.
Screech has been
Dustin
He's
D.
been busy. Behind the Bell, that was not a good read.
Yeah, that was
I'm
tough
was
to
that
watch.
gonna break down the
accurate?
cliff notes for you. Oh yeah, that was after the fact. In 2009, Dustin Diamond released the widely disputed tell-all book Behind the Bell, where he paints himself as an outcast and a womanizer and bashes about every other cast member on the show. It was not a good look for Diamond, and his castmates said most of it was garbage. There were some wild claims. But first, let's hear what Dustin said about it a couple years ago while on E! Talking with Mario Lopez.
Okay. Oh, interesting.
From the horse's mouth
Yeah.
to the horse's ear.
DD claimed he didn't actually write the book and that a ghostwriter deceived him and made everything up. I wanted to write the book about my life. I was supposed to talk to a ghostwriter for 40 hours total. I talked to a guy for 90 minutes total. Another 2 weeks go by and I get something in the mail. I get a copy of the book, he said in the extra clip. I don't know.
That just sounds like he was covering his bases because people didn't like it all that much.
He was hungry. He was desperate. He desperately did not want to be like Screech. He wanted to, so he was trying to change his
Anything
image.
else but Screech.
Tough
that was
time
like,
for him.
Yeah.
A lot of it is bullshit, but I think he had a lot more to do with it than what he's saying here.
If it was like widely received as a hit, a smash, everybody
Yeah.
loved it, he would have been like, yep, I wrote
It was
it.
all me.
Yeah.
It's all me, 100%.
Well, and there's I do want to talk about it. There's a lot of points in this book I would like to discuss. It's juicy gossip. It's,
Yeah,
if
what's
anything,
in
it's
the
some
Behind the Bell?
we'll talk about the most
Behind the curtain.
juicy claims from Behind the Bell.
Right.
And if you don't want to like read the whole book, and it's even hard to find. Like it didn't do that well. Like, you could probably find some used copies on Amazon here and there, I'm sure. But there is on 11points.com some articles by Sam Greenspan, who just did an awesome job summarizing this up. This was far and away the best, cliff notes on the breakdown of the salacious autobiography about sex, drugs, and more on the set of Saved by the Bell. Here are all the juiciest details and claims. First, Dustin Diamond made sure everybody knew that he has a large penis and has used it to have sex with over 2,000 women,
Okay.
most of whom he picked
Who
up
would
at
say that?
Disneyland.
Somebody
Oh my
that
god.
didn't
Ew.
bed 2,000 women.
I mean, what he doesn't literally say is, "I'm broke and desperate enough to to sell everyone out and tell you about it," but he literally does shout out, "I'm not Screech. I'm 100% in every single way not Screech. I'm cool. I follow no man, and women find me irresistible." That's what he's saying. So,
man.
he tells, of many of his exploits, even starting one chapter about halfway through the book with the sentence, "Is it bragging to say I've banged over 2,000 chicks in my life?" Like,
Oh, there's a lot of people that have played a lot of
Come
different
on.
roles. It's like he's like getting too deep into like what this character was, and it's like I'm sure people gave him a really hard time,
yeah.
but at the same time, it's like again, there's a lot of people that have played either like the nerd role or like
Right.
whatever, and it's like I mean,
Urkel had the same
Yeah,
complex, I'm sure, but he turned into a cool guy and
And-
like,
Fun
yeah,
as
because
hell.
people
yeah,
knew that he was cool. You don't have to be like I'm cool. Like just let your attitude do the talking. You
Yeah.
don't like say like oh no I'm not like him. I'm cool. Like just
He's like, "What do you want from
We
me?
know that
I
you're
banged 2,000
acting-
chicks and stabbed a guy. I'm not Screech."
yeah. Yeah.
What else do I
We
have to
get
do
it.
to prove to you?
Overcompensation.
We get it.
While it seems he met many of these anonymous girls when they were extras on the show or during the cast mall tours and cross-country appearances, he says he actually seduced a large number of them at Disneyland.
That's a little creepy, don't you think?
Yeah.
Does sound pretty cool.
Yeah. He
Like
says,
I get that did probably work. Like if you were like a young girl and you're like, oh my god.
yeah. I mean, he says people don't realize Disneyland in the early 90s was the perfect place to meet and hook up with chicks. That's what he writes. He then goes on to describe the best rides on which to carry this out. The Haunted Mansion, a totally dark 9-minute ride. And finally, he explains his method was simple. He and a friend would walk around, wait until two often international tourists would recognize him as Screech, and take it from there. Yeah, it's a little creepy.
Yeah,
I get
okay.
it, but
Would you have done it?
I would have done it if I was
If you're a
if
child
I was
star.
Screech
Yeah.
in the 90s. And I mean, you can't blame him for being like, yeah, I'll grab a buddy and go to Disneyland.
Gotta
go
go
go pick up some
farm.
chicks. Let me show you how this is done. But I don't know, still a little creepy.
Yeah.
Just doesn't sit well with me for some reason. If you would have gone to a bar, it would have been a different flavor. But
Do you have a problem with Disneyland?
just like going to pick up ladies specifically
Could
at
he even
Disneyland,
get into a
doesn't-
bar at the time?
Probably not.
Probably not.
They would have let him
That's
in.
where
They're
he
like,
probably
"Screech,
met kids
come on
his
in.
age.
Screech.
Tell us a funny story."
Oh, well, he had a bunch of stories that were not funny in this book. The next biggest bomb that he tried to drop that, had been corroborated before, but he said Mario Lopez raped a girl and NBC paid her hush money.
no.
Definitely the most damning accusation in the book, but one that Diamond doesn't hedge like many of the upcoming points. He flat out says Mario Lopez lured a girl back to his pad and was forced to have sex against her will. NBC lawyers stepped in to maintain the image of his clean teen stars, though he paid the girl to be quiet. In my understanding, Diamond writes that it wasn't even a boatload of cash either, somewhere around 50 grand.
Wow.
Wow.
That's crazy. I
Yeah.
did not know that.
There is a Variety article
Bet
about
so much happened
Lopez
with those
being
guys.
accused of date rape, so there is other corroboration on this, and it makes you wonder if there was social media in 1993 as we know it today, would things be the same for Mario?
No way.
Would he have the same e-career and
No way.
No way.
Yeah, especially if she wasn't even paid off to be, silenced over this. This could have ended his career 10 years
Yeah.
ago. This could have come back up to bite him.
Yeah.
he wouldn't be looking at a reboot?
No way.
He wouldn't be booting with Berkeley.
Booting with Berkeley.
No way.
Baiting with Berkeley.
He trashes Tiffany too, which I just don't like. You don't trash Tiffany. Tiffany
How
Amber
dare
Thiessen.
you, sir?
Yeah, he says Tiffany Amber cheated on the actor who played Johnny Dakota simultaneously with Mario Lopez and Mark Paul Gosselaar. Thiessen comes off pretty poorly in the book. In this instance, Diamond discusses the famous anti-drug Saved by the Bell episode, the one where a movie star named Johnny Dakota shows up to film an anti-drug PSA, but then tries to get the new crew to use drugs and they stand up to him. Apparently, Thiessen was dating Eddie Garcia, the actor who played Johnny Dakota.
Wow.
But little did he know, Diamond says, she was having sex with both the other male leads under his nose. In fact, he says for the entire week of that episode, Thiessen was sneaking off right under his nose, going from one guy's dressing room to the other's. Garcia eventually found out and ended things.
Well, at least he had a little
Tiffany.
backbone and he put a stop to it. And he didn't just like, all right, yeah, do whatever you want.
You think she was really getting down with both of them?
I don't know. You can't blame her. She was so freaking
no,
hot.
I mean-
she probably see a therapist because she was so freaking
It's
good
like
looking.
too hard to be this hot.
It
on
was
set
like,
with
I
those
I don't know what to do
Yeah.
with myself.
I'm having an issue being this gorgeous.
It's just a real issue. Right now.
Everybody hits on me. Literally everybody.
Right?
I'm sure everybody was hitting on her. And she was doing so much with Mark Paul, so like of course. And then like obviously Mario Lopez hitting on
Yeah.
her.
All of those girls were very, very cute.
Very.
But she stood out, certainly.
They really all were so cute.
Top of my list. That's for sure.
Lark Voorhees, gorgeous.
Number
like
2.
she was
Definitely.
number 2. Huh?
Yes.
Yep.
We'll definitely get into that later.
Okay.
We'll bait about it.
Get out of here.
Debate about it.
During the No Hope with Dope episode, the cast members were all smoking weed in their dressing rooms, he says. Diamond doesn't reveal that much about the drugs floating around on the cast, but does say that the No Hope with Dope episode ended up being a huge hit. I just can't help but think of all of the off-camera drinking and recreational drug use being
sure.
indulged in by the cast members during that time. I could even smell a certain smoke wafting from the crack beneath Tiffany's dressing room.
Jeez. What a just
This is all in the
got-
book.
yeah. He's all in the
skeezer.
book. It's got-
What a skeezer.
Got a bang on Tiffany like that?
Yeah. He's jelly.
For sure.
Super
She turned him
jelly.
down,
Yep.
and he's bitter, and so he's gonna try and
Probably
trash
turn him
her.
down
Yeah. This,
3-4 dozen times.
So he's like, "Oh, you're gonna go bang all the other dudes, but not me." Like, you don't know who you're
he didn't.
banging.
He didn't leave out Elizabeth either. He says.
what if they're playing
Oh.
chess?
He says Berkeley also did
Special
both Mario
relationship.
Lopez and Mark Paul Gosselaar, but only once Tiffany Amber Thiessen was done. Berkeley doesn't get a ton of ink in the book. You almost perceive that Diamond has sympathy for her post-Saved by the Bell career, spurred by her decision to do Showgirls.
Mm-hmm.
He does, however, mention that once Thiessen was done with Lopez and Gosselaar, Berkeley decided that she wanted to get with both of them too. He says there was a lot of desperation to her hoeing, like she had a lot of catching up to do. That's a quote from his
Like you weren't doing like your own
Come
shit,
on.
like,
coming from the guy that went to Disneyland to go
yeah,
use his
is that
screech.
you're judging
Yeah.
her? Like
Go use his screechness. To
everybody's
go.
doing their own thing. Okay, it's not past judgment.
He didn't stop there. He says Lark Voorhees then did them as sloppy thirds. From this book and other things I've read, I get the impression that Voorhees is one of the shyest people in the history of mankind. According to Diamond, it took years for Lisa Turtle to come out of her shell.
Hilarious.
And when she finally did, she took her turn on the Lopez Gosselaar ride. He says you can match up the timing of these relationships with the timing of Zach's romances on the show.
Really?
Kelly got the early years. Then Jesse had a kiss during the rehearsal of the Snow White and the Seven Dorks.
Remember that?
And
Yeah.
I
finally-
remember when they had a second. Yeah.
Remember
And finally, Lisa got her run during her fashion show.
Yeah,
But
at
from,
the end.
from how I understood it, he was like dating her though for the most of it. Like they were together for like
Then
3 years.
Mark and Lark
and I
were
thought,
together.
yeah, Mark and Lark.
Mark
the
and
old
Lark.
Mark. Oh,
The
how
old
cute.
Mark and Lark.
On the
Where,
secret.
where was
though.
social media for that? Yeah, for sure. You know, Diamond
That's a
basically
hashtag just waiting to
details
happen.
how his fellow actors just took turns pairing off and rotating around.
Well, that's probably obvious too.
But-
They're teens that are all together every day.
He even claims that the actors engaged in wild and crazy threesomes.
What?
Mark Paul Gosselaar
Come
actually
on.
did confirm this particular claim, though.
Wow.
He told People magazine in 2009, all of us stated at one point or another it was incestuous.
Hey, you're the ones who convinced me to start dating again.
Come on.
I'm
But at
not
the same
surprised.
time, I don't know.
I don't know.
Dusty
I don't know. Things were crazy.
telling stories again. Dusty.
Well,
Someone else needs to do it behind the bell and see if we can get
Yeah.
another.
I want it from
voice.
Mark
Well,
Paul.
I mean, I was our Lark.
we're going to
Yeah.
talk about
Or
the movie,
Elizabeth.
the Lifetime movie, the unauthorized story we
Lifetime
watched.
movie.
Yeah, we watched that.
Yeah.
Let's finish with the book.
All right.
When Lark Voorhees was engaged to Martin Lawrence, he abused her, at minimum verbally. This might be the strangest and most abstract scandal that Diamond tries to expose. He basically suggested Martin Lawrence did something to make Voorhees even more reclusive and non-communicative. He says that he saw Voorhees shortly after her fiancé Martin Lawrence ended things with her publicly on the Arsenio Hall show. Diamond says she flinched whenever a man was near her or a man's voice suddenly projected towards her. She rocked back and forth, mumbling to herself in a very disturbing fashion as if in her own world. Like, that's kind of a crazy claim to make about Lark Voorhees and Martin Lawrence, for that matter.
Yeah, it's a bold statement.
It's a bold statement. Yeah. This one was interesting. DD had sex with NBC's VP of Children's Programming, Linda Mansuko. He doesn't go into much detail about his other 1,999 sexual partners, but one of the NBC executives who oversaw Saved by the Bell gets almost an entire chapter.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, Mansuko was 18 years older than Diamond, but he says from the moment they met, she treated him like an equal. Eventually, as he got older, that turned into a sexual relationship. Most were thinking, wow, this is really specific and controversial stuff to be saying about this woman he seems to be really caring about. How pissed off is she going to be?
Yeah.
Then he reveals that she died from cancer in 2003. She was 44 at the time of her death. The only sexual partner whose name he reveals, and the highest profile sexual partner at that, is dead. Little strange, little suspect, Screech.
Sounds like your girlfriend that you had back at summer camp that was from Canada.
Yeah.
That nobody knew.
Right.
It's just real fictitious, you know?
It's a little fictitious. It is. And these are the things.
She obviously can't confirm any of these things.
These are the things where I don't see where a ghostwriter would benefit from it either. Like, where would a ghostwriter come in and make this stuff up? Like, why would he benefit from doing that?
And it does sound like he'd be like, oh, no, I didn't have anything to do with it. He's not going to be like, yes.
Right?
I made all these claims. Yes, Mario.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Yes,
You
I did.
did it.
Yes, I did. Do you also want to talk about the stabbing?
Yeah, right?
No mention of that in this book, huh?
Yeah. Mark Paul Gosselaar confessed to the cast that he took steroids before Saved by the Bell the college years, says Dustin Diamond.
You can tell.
I mean,
He
it's possible.
does look a little bit
It's possible.
put
A
on
little
about
bit.
25, 30 pounds
easily.
of muscle.
Aside
But he
from
also
Gosselaar's
grew into a
physical
man.
changes throughout the show as he naturally grew older, there has been no evidence to corroborate this claim. It can't be denied that Gosselaar certainly bulked up a bit as the show progressed.
bigger than Slater, and
but
Slater was
no
supposed
one
to be-
knows if it was steroids or if it was just him growing up. But yeah. He was a fair amount bigger than Mario Lopez in the college years.
He was supposed to be a college wrestler, so he should have been huge
Yeah.
in comparison. And Mark Paul put on some.
But I feel like
Yeah.
he just grew overall, but steroids will also help. That'll also do the trick.
Right? This is the one that, like, I can't believe is true. I don't want to believe is true. Could it be true? I don't know. And I remember hearing this rumor a lot, like, not attached to this book. But executive producer Peter Engel used to have bisexual threesomes with Tiffany Amber Thiessen and Mark Paul Gosselaar in his office. According to Diamond, Engel was a former cocaine user and Hollywood party scene guy who saw the light and became a born-again Christian. As the showrunner for Saved by the Bell, he banned the swearing on set and refused to let Bayside High be anything short of a utopia. But he really tries to guide the reader into believing Engel, Gosselaar, and Thiessen used to get it on. He never says it directly, but he's not just implying it either. So yeah, at least through Diamond's eyes, the entire Saved by the Bell era was pretty much one giant orgy, and everyone was invited, except Mr. Belding, apparently.
Oh.
Yeah, Dennis Haskins, who Diamond refers to as a close friend, you know, he apparently escapes this book with very few mentions and virtually nothing controversial. But wow, that
It's
about
clean.
Peter Engel and
Man, these are
Tiffany
some
Amber
big
Thiessen,
claims
Mario
in this
Lopez. Like, wow, that was and they used a lot of this book to make that 2014 Lifetime movie, the unauthorized Saved by the
Yeah.
Bell story, which we saw. It's terrible.
Yeah.
We can talk about that now. We have some thoughts on that. It was they did a lot of that, you know, from what everybody knows, and then a lot of that apparently was taken
It's
from
going
the
off
book,
the book, but
which he
none of
said
that's
was,
true.
you know, he said a lot of that was crap. He didn't write it. I don't know. I mean, a lot of it seemed, you know, to be true stuff that like everybody knew to be true.
You have to imagine everybody knows that the entertainment industry is insane, and there's a lot that goes on behind closed doors.
Right.
These are teenagers and kids,
Yeah,
so I
it seems
hope
like
that it wasn't.
they were a little too young to be
Yeah, I
getting
hope it
called
wasn't
into.
too crazy for that. And who knows if that, like, maybe they were diddling, maybe they were going over a new storyline.
Right.
Focus on Zach and Kelly,
Yeah.
because that's what
That's
people
what they
wanted
did.
to see. So, like,
It sounds like
I don't
something
know,
that
but-
like an ex-boyfriend would think about the girlfriend that's
yeah,
It's
now
he's just
true.
bitter
hanging
and
out
coming up with
random
all sorts
people.
of different things of what he thinks is going on.
Right.
But again, I don't.
His
I mean,
interpretation, he didn't actually see it, so who knows? Who knows?
I agree. You explain that in a good way.
Yeah. Well, Lifetime did air its TV movie on the behind-the-scenes drama Saved by the Bell a while back. Let's discuss. First we talk about the casting. We were making jokes the entire time we were watching it
Yeah.
about the unauthorized story of Corey Feldman, because that's who looked like that. The guy that played
For
Zach
Mark
Morris
Paul.
looked exactly like Corey Feldman.
with bleach blonde hair.
Lisa was casted well. The three girls were casted really
Yeah,
well.
the girls
Yeah,
were
they were.
casted
They were
well.
cute. They were,
They
Seen
were,
their
Yeah, they were pretty
parts.
cute.
Yep.
Screech was actually pretty casted well too, but
Not
man,
bad.
horrible for Mario
Mario,
Lopez and
Yeah.
Mark Paul.
just terrible.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
And everybody seemed 5 inches shorter to me. I don't know if
Yeah.
that was like a thing or not, but
It's probably just because Mark Paul was so much smaller in the unauthorized in this movie
Yeah.
than as we remember, so it throws everything off.
yeah, he must be.
And Slater, the guy that played him, seemed smaller too. So
Just seems like the mini version, Everybody's just like downsized a little bit.
The casting was just kind of, it was okay. Some takeaways from the very first Lifetime movie I think I've ever seen, the unauthorized Saved by the Bell story. First thing, not sure why it had to be unauthorized. Know a lot of its cast members spoke out against the movie, but they really didn't need to. Over the past few years, word about Diamond's book certainly trickled down to all of them, and I assumed that they figured the movie would be kind of a smear job. It wasn't. They all came off at worst as teenagers,
Yeah.
and not
Actually seemed pretty reasonable.
Yeah, not the modern teenager having meth fueled orgies on top of their Common
No,
Core
there was,
homework
like, none of
assignments.
that in
No,
it was a Lifetime
no,
movie.
they're primarily
so.
positioned as mature professional teenagers with microscopic flaws,
Which is
for the
pretty
most
much
part.
how I would could see them
you,
doing
yeah,
it.
you would
Yeah.
see it like being like that for sure.
Knowing Tiffany and Ruth, I don't know as if we're like besties. Like knowing Tiffany personally, I'm just kidding.
Tiffany
Knowing
and
Tiffany
I.
and Mark Paul, I mean, they wouldn't be doing those things.
Yeah. And it was incredibly tame compared to the Dustin Diamond book. It really was. In the years since the Behind the Bell came out, Diamond has, distanced himself from it and admitted a lot of it was made up. After seeing this Lifetime movie, which, ostensibly lands closer to the truth, the fabricated
Right.
version is definitely way better. According to this movie, the following are the biggest scandals for each of the major players. Mark Paul having a thing for all three girls in the cast at one point.
Remember, Zach, it's better to be dumped by the best-looking girl than to have never been dumped at all.
Mario Lopez once bringing a girl to the set to impress her and starts kissing her.
It's all like normal
Yeah.
things that you could totally see happening.
Tiffany Amber Thiessen enjoying one sip of wine on the publicity tour in Paris.
Right.
Right.
Right. Like-
Lark celebrating her birthday even though she's Jehovah's Witness. And,
yeah.
Elizabeth Berkley eventually wanting to leave the show to audition for more serious roles.
It all makes sense. Like that all.
Come on.
Yeah, makes sense.
This is a long journey from Diamond's tell-all book where he accused the show's creator of having threesomes with Gosler and
Yeah,
Thiessen.
this is way
Accused
different.
NBC of covering up Mario Lopez raping a girl. Accused Martin Lawrence of
Oh my
abusing
God.
Lark Voorhees.
Oh my gosh.
And accused
Way
himself
out
of going to Disneyland every weekend to have sex with, 2,000
I
different
can
groupies.
imagine what they were thinking reading that book for the first time. It was just like, holy shit.
Yeah. And
Just sounds like a money grab to me.
it was, and the thing that really
real
pissed me
ones.
off that I stood out a lot was the lack of real show material that they used. That sucked. This movie featured a lot of fake Saved by the Bell style scenes that they didn't use real material from the Saved by the
Right.
Bell. So I was thinking they couldn't legally use the dialogue from the show, but then they did the "I'm so excited, I'm
Right,
so scared"
right.
scene basically verbatim. Those fake scenes just drove me nuts. I hated that. So
This was in every
Yeah.
episode. Like,
yeah, that's stupid. They also acknowledged Saved by the Bell, the college years, but not Saved by the Bell, the new class, which actually ran longer than the original show. So I thought that was kind of interesting too.
Yeah.
And what was with the Screech bow ties? In virtually every fake Saved by the Bell scene in the movie, Screech wears a bow tie. I'm not sure he ever wore one on the show. And they showed him dressing up as Abraham Lincoln, which he never did on the show. Like that,
I remember him wearing
drove me nuts.
suspenders.
Screech's acceptance is very different in the ending of the movie than kind of in the book. Even how he describes it himself. The movie concludes with Diamond saying, "In me, I guess some part of me will always be Screech, and you know what? I'm okay with that." Like that did what?
All he said is I am nothing like Screech. I'm cool. I'm this.
Which
I'm
is
that.
He stabbed a guy to
completely
prove the
opposed
fact that he
to the
wasn't
book.
Screech.
Yeah, this book was a 200-page manifesto on how Dustin
I'll always
Diamond
be a
is
little
0% Screech and how you're a terrible person for even suggesting so. Like on a meta level, it was good to see things this way, assuming Diamond had at least some hand in the narrative of the movie. It's relief to see, he let go of a lot of his anger. The tone of the book was pretty bitter and sad.
Yeah.
The movie, while exceptionally more bland, was at least suggests Diamond has found some peace. But as far as the movie goes, I was definitely hoping for more kind of substance.
Yeah.
It just wasn't that good.
No, it wasn't.
It just wasn't that good. Let's talk some Saved by the Bell trivia.
Trivia.
Let's get in some fun facts and did
Love
you
it.
knows, Tyler.
Oh, I
And
hope I remember everything.
I know you consider yourself pretty good.
I used to be.
Saved by the Bell trivia.
Used
Oh
to be
man, I
pretty
know. We
good.
probably could have told you every single thing.
I don't know.
I don't know how much Saved by the Bell
I've seen
I've watched.
most, if not all, the episodes at least 2 times.
That's it.
Let's
At
start.
least 2 times.
Start small.
Okay.
How about a fresh towel?
Maybe you can roll that up and smoke it.
All right. Here's an easy one, okay?
Okay.
And this is no name. No name is your buzzer. Blair can't do it.
Blurt it out.
Please don't.
Just blurt it out.
Okay.
Okay. I like that.
Who are the only 2 characters to appear in every single episode of the original show?
Zach and Screech.
That is correct.
Yeah, you're right.
And Screech,
Every episode,
and
right?
Screech is the only character in every single original Saved by the
Yeah.
Bell episode, the spin-off show series, and
College
the movie.
year, all of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's he bitching about? Like, you're getting
You've made it from the
paid.
beginning.
Right?
Like you get to be a part of this whole thing. Like you're the only one making it yourself look.
They're not gonna have they're not gonna have him in the new one, you think?
I'm sure he'll be
A
in
cameo,
it. I hope
but
they
I
all
don't
make
think
an
he's going to be a
appearance.
repeat cast
He just
member.
needs to like chill.
How could he bitch about
Easy,
playing
like-
Screech and then continue to play Screech?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
wait,
like-
he's gonna come back and do it.
It's the
and
only
all-
role I've ever had.
I'll do it for half.
Every character has either dated or gone on a date with each other except for one pairing. Name that pair.
Jesse and Screech.
I'll
Incorrect.
say Tiffany and Screech.
It's the characters. So you're just going to have to say Kelly.
Oh, Kelly.
Screech.
I know it's your friend Tiffany and all Blair.
Yeah,
Like-
your bestie for the rest of you.
Tiff.
like-
Okay. I mean Kelly.
TA.
Yeah, I'll say Kelly and Screech. I've never.
T and A.
you're,
as you
you're
call her.
both wrong.
Tiffany and Amber. The
Nope.
Thiessens.
You're both wrong.
Okay, hold
Mr.
on.
Belding.
Hey, what is going on here?
No.
It's the main six.
Lisa and Screech have Mario and Lisa. Or, sorry.
Ooh,
Slater
Mario,
and Lisa. I never
Slater,
remember them two
And
together.
Lisa.
That is correct.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Lisa and Slater are the pair that have never dated or gone on a date with each other.
You know, Zach, like my Uncle Charlie used to say, women are like vines. If you fall off one, hey, you can swing with another.
I was gonna say I know all these love stories for sure.
Here's one I know you'll get. The show was nominated for 1 Daytime Emmy. What category did it get nominated for?
Jeez,
TV comedy? Blair.
I don't even
TV drama.
TV
drama.
No.
No?
Outstanding achievement in lighting.
Oh my God.
It's only
Did always have great
nomination
lighting.
Fantastic.
Bayside was lit fantastically.
They only had one set. Like there was one
One room.
classroom.
One classroom was used for every classroom that
And
they
it
showed
was
on
lit
there.
to perfection.
Yeah, absolute perfection.
Show was lit.
Before they even knew what was lit.
All right, let's get to one that you can actually answer here.
Okay.
What's the name of the girl group that Lisa, Kelly, and Jesse form in the caffeine pill episode?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Is it Banana Split,
No.
the Cupcakes, Hot Sunday, or a la mode?
Oh my god.
I'm gonna go Hot
I
Sunday.
kind of want to go.
Hot Sunday.
Hot Sunday is correct.
Hot Sunday.
Ooh, good job, babe.
Nice.
Feeling good.
Well done.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, the caffeine pill sode was one of my favorites.
That was a good
It
song.
made so much impact.
It did.
Needed to be said.
It did.
Which of these would you not find in the home of Screech Powers?
Okay.
A hound dog, a robot named Kevin,
Oh, definitely.
a statue of Elvis, or a painting of Carl Sagan?
A painting of Carl Sagan.
I'll say Elvis.
Blair. You don't remember? Like, there was a whole episode where they party at Screech's when his mom's out of town and they break
The most
the Elvis
Oh my-
statue.
Oh my
Elvis
god.
statue.
What
Tyler's
am I
right. It's a
thinking?
painting of Carl Sagan.
Okay. I should have known better.
Okay.
It's like you've never even seen the show before.
Have you
You know we're
ever
talking
even
about Saved by the
watched?
Bell, right? What happens when students wear the fake class rings that Zach buys from
Their
Gem
fingers turn
Diamond?
green.
Their fingers turn green. Blair, she's right back in
Definitely.
it.
Blair, she's in
I
it.
had faith in her
remember
the whole
this.
time.
He got scammed on some cheap ass metal.
Yeah. What physical trait makes Jesse Spano most insecure?
Ooh.
Her height?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Blair.
Wow.
I remember the episode at the dance, and she was all like, "Oh, I'm taller."
This is tied 2-2.
Oh.
Fwy.
She was
Why?
gorgeous.
It's just a fwy. It's tied 2-2. Let's go to Malibu Sands, shall we?
Yeah.
Talk about my daughter, Stacy Carosi.
Rosie.
The King
I
of
love
Queens.
Yes. Stacy Carosi's boyfriend, Craig, cheats to win what annual competition at the Malibu Sands Beach Club?
Oh yes.
Is it a volleyball tournament,
Oh.
a triathlon, an ATV race, or a basketball tournament?
I'm going to say ATV race.
Yeah, I think you're right.
On the quads.
Really?
Or is it the volleyball?
Both of you guys? You're correct.
Yeah.
I was
An
like,
ATV
"Ooh."
race?
I was like, I
Love
swear I
it.
remember the ATV.
For sure.
Somebody cheated
Okay.
in the volleyball game.
One of my favorite episodes here. The Buddy Bands commercial ends with Slater pointing to Kelly and Jesse and saying, "Ladies love them. Hey, they work. Oh, mama. Better buy two."
Oh, mama, probably. I feel like that's so something.
Ladies love them. Hey, they work. Oh, mama. Better buy two.
I'm like, hey, they work. But I'm going to say the mama one.
Oh, mama.
Yeah.
The correct answer
Oh,
is,
mama.
hey, they work.
See, I felt
man.
it. I felt like the only other one it could be
Trickery.
So Slater.
is
Trickery.
hey,
So Slater.
it could work.
Hey, they work.
Buddy bands.
That's hilarious.
Let's keep it Slater. What mall job does Slater get to make money around Christmas time?
Hillshire Farms?
Oh, Tyler. No. You're kind of on to something. If I didn't know how
I
much you've
just
had to drink
remember
tonight.
the
So-
camping, I remember the camping store, the tent.
No.
Or was that just at the
No.
mall?
He doesn't sell
No.
smoked meats and cheeses?
No, and this is like, come on.
What? I'm
Do you
trying
guys
to
call
remember.
yourselves fans of
I
the show?
know. I'm trying to remember. It's been so
It's
long.
been 30 years.
He wraps gifts.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that. Oh, my God.
Blair knew that.
So knew that.
Blair knew it. She just didn't say it.
Tiffany's going to be so disappointed. I didn't get that.
She's going to call
Sorry,
me
Tiffany.
tomorrow and be like, you didn't know that?
So we didn't remember that
She's gonna give me
sode.
so much shit for this.
Let's see if we remember this sode. Mm-hmm. How is beloved Bayside duck Becky killed.
Oh, the rivalry team?
No,
Was there an oil spill?
Oh.
that's correct.
Oh my God.
She drowns in
Tyler
oil.
James.
Very memorable episode. It was like a sad episode.
That was sad.
I cried.
I remember that.
I cried
that was sad.
real hard.
Tyler's coming right back. I feel
Tyler's
him.
a sucker for
He
animals.
looks reinvigorated over
Where do
there.
we go from here?
Feeling it.
Feel it. Where does Jesse's dad get married? Reno, Palm Springs, Las Vegas, or
it's
Acapulco?
Vegas. I feel like I remember seeing them in the hotel. Is it Vegas?
Palm Springs.
Or Palm Springs?
You're thinking Vegas because of the movie where
Hun-
Zach and Kelly get married in Vegas. Tyler is right in strengthening his lead here. The correct answer is Palm Springs.
Palm Springs.
Thought I had that one.
I've stayed in that hotel before.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Well, that's special.
That's a cool hotel.
It's nice. Yeah, it's fun.
What's the name of Kelly's hunky older boyfriend? Jeff?
Yep.
Mike? Mark? Or Billy?
Jeff.
Jeff is correct.
Jeff.
Jeff is correct.
He was like 34. She was 16.
I know.
Like, is this?
I was so pissed for Jeff.
Is this legal?
Is this legal?
He was an
You're
attorney.
just jealous of Jeff because he got to be. With
I was so
Kelly.
jealous of Jeff.
Pretty jealous of like just anybody that got with Kelly.
Yeah.
Everybody
am.
on the cast was too. They're like, this fucking guy.
Right?
Get the fuck out of here, Jeff. Killing the mood here.
Just gonna come in and
Nobody
get
likes
Kelly?
you, Jeff.
We were having 3-ways before Jeff.
Yeah. God. What concert is the gang trying to buy tickets for when they find $5,000 in a case at the mall?
U2. What is U2?
Is it MC Hammer, Madonna, U2, or the Beach Boys?
U2. And that's when they camp out.
Yep, that's
In
when
the
they
sporting
camp
goods
out in the
store.
sporting goods store. That's
Oh,
right.
okay.
That's correct.
Man,
Mm-hmm.
you are killing it.
In Fake IDs, episode 9 of season 3, and one of my personal absolute favorites. Which over 18 nightclub did the gang sneak into?
Oh my gosh.
This was definitely one of my favorite sods.
Do we have
I love
options
the fake ID
here?
thing.
I was
It's
saying,
like,
I remember.
you get no options. This is like you gotta remember it.
Oh, I do not
The
remember
attic.
the club.
That
name.
is correct.
Oh my
Nailed
gosh.
Out of left field.
Biscuits.
No, you did not just get it.
The attic
Hold it.
is correct. They sneak
Zach's
into the
mom
attic.
As
shows
soon as
up.
you
Yeah.
said that, I was like, I think that's right.
Oh, that's right.
I was like, I'm never gonna. What?
That's right. Now, a lot of these questions, and this was compiled from just, excellent R&D work from our Crunchtastic R&D
R&D
team.
department.
And, they were, when you're taking them for quizzes and such, they're either way too easy or way too hard.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
either like, what was Slater's nickname for Zach Morris?
Preppy.
Yeah.
Preppy.
Or it was like, what was Slater's locker number?
Yeah.
And, yeah. Yeah.
604.
So the-
602.
Those were going to be really hard. So we tried to avoid getting too
Yeah,
easy and
that
too
was
hard.
good.
Good ones.
This was one though, along the lines kind of like the locker number though, that I feel you should get.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a harder one.
What place did Zach and Kelly's song occupy on the Max's jukebox? A6, A12, A18, or A24?
A24.
Not a clue. A16?
Blair. A16 wasn't even one of the 4 options.
B2 shot.
A6, A12, A18, A24, A16.
Did I get it? Did I win?
It was B16, right? The answer is A12.
Zach, this is our song. A12, it's sacred.
No. A12 was sacred.
A12.
Was sacred.
Was.
A12. Zach and Kelly's song. Oh, that's A12. That's their song.
I was close. At least I got one on the list.
You at least got one of the 4 multiple choice options.
I feel like I need half a point for that. At least I
Just for
chose
getting
one
an actual option.
from the list.
All right, here's a good one. How frequently did Mark Paul Gosselaar have to dye his hair blonde in order to play Zach Morris?
Weekly.
Oh, like daily.
Weekly.
Okay, see, like everyone knew that he had, like that wasn't going to be a trivia question. Everyone knew he had to dye his hair, that he really had dark hair.
I had frosted tips.
Yep.
Come on.
He
Looks
had
so good with blonde hair and
he
black
had
roots.
he
It's
had
not
to
even
dye it
funny.
blonde every 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
Okay.
We were both wrong.
Yeah.
What's the big deal? Am I supposed to be upset about something?
Okay. I've been waiting to get into some of this here. Why did we get the character Tori in the final season of Saved by the Bell?
Why? She was a transfer. Her dad was in the military.
No, not in the show.
Oh.
Why did Tori show up for the last season?
Well,
Oh, because Kelly left.
It's
And
close. You
Jesse
had-
left.
That's
Kelly
your
and
example.
Jesse?
Because
Or
of
Jesse
because of
left.
contract issues with Tiffany Thiessen and Elizabeth Berkley.
Wow,
Yes.
Blair.
Yes,
Yeah,
go
I was going to
Blair.
say, I remember
Yes.
they
Comeback.
left.
But there was kind of
But,
reasons.
that
It was
brought up
miscommunication, and
They
this
weren't
was
there at
and
the
this
same
was
time.
weird.
I just
They
remember
weren't
that
there at
they
the
were
same
never there at the
time,
same
and it
time.
always messed us because we never watched this on Saturday mornings as they came out new. We watched them in like
Reruns
never in
way
order
later.
reruns
TBS,
after school.
WGN, after school special.
Exactly.
3D.
So we
3:30,
so
4
it
o'clock.
never even occurred to me that she was in it at the last season and only the last
No.
season. As far as Tiffany Amber Thiessen and Elizabeth Berkley go, they were told the show was over, and before the creators changed their minds and ordered more sods, Tiffany had already signed on to do 90210, and Elizabeth committed to Showgirls. Saved by the
Thank
Bell,
you very much.
the Saved by the Bell graduation in 1992 had already been shot before all of this happened, and they waited to air it as the finale. So they shot the
okay.
graduation, the final episode,
While they
with
were all still
everybody
together.
and waited to air it, and just forget about Tori in that sode.
So Tori doesn't graduate.
Never graduates?
No, the Tori episodes all aired in the middle of the final season to sidestep continuity problems. The storyline operated on the idea that Tori, Kelly, and Jesse were all at Bayside at the same time and had different classes and social interactions with Zach, Slater, Screech, and Lisa that never overlapped. So,
I can't believe Tori was
Yeah,
only there
that's
for
possible.
the last season.
I mean, Tyler and I almost got into it earlier. I mean, it was there was a lot of friction, and we were starting to get really heated. He tried to tell
what
me
was this about?
he tried to tell me he would choose Tori over Jesse, and I was like, "What in the fuh?"
All day, every day.
Would you?
Like we both
Interesting.
agreed Kelly was far and away
Number one. Yep. Lisa, number
like
2.
Lisa number 2.
Number 3.
And I was like,
Okay.
all right. I go, it wasn't fair for Jessie because of the way they did her hair and her clothes and her character, like because Elizabeth Berkley is smoking hot.
Yeah,
Like she really is.
for sure. Just as
So
the
this
character.
is also based on just characters.
And I was like, I go, so you take Tori? I go, leather jacket and all. He goes, I'd make her wear only the leather jacket.
Just the leather jacket.
Yep, that's Tyler.
Yeah.
It all makes sense
That
now.
makes sense. I was like, you gotta have the sleeves rolled up and everything. He's like, yeah, of course.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
the sleeves have to be rolled up.
Keep it on. Get sweaty.
More leather.
Gotta have more leather.
Add more leather.
I wasn't a big Tori fan. And it wasn't really anything against Tori and her bad acting. It was it was really because every time she was there, it meant Kelly wasn't there.
there.
Yeah.
We meant no Kelly and Jesse.
So it's like, is this a Kelly or a Tori? So
Yes.
kind of situation.
I mean, the
Or
only
Jesse.
the only thing worse than that, and Tyler would agree, was when you'd get a original like Good Morning Miss Bliss episode. Like no,
They
one-
would just randomly throw those in on that 3:30 episode.
No one
you're
was
like,
every once in a
excited.
while, and I
It's a
would
Miss Bliss.
just sit there
No.
like during the intro with fingers crossed, hoping to God that it was the high school years. Jesus H.
This is everything right now. Come on.
Please.
I'll watch the same
I didn't
episode
mind
I saw
some Miss
yesterday,
Bliss
as long as I don't
days.
have to see that.
But it did get so much better.
All right.
Who was the other brunette, curly-haired girl?
No one
in
remembers.
Miss
Her
Bliss?
name
That
was Nikki, but
Nikki.
no one
Nikki.
remembers.
She was
Yes.
second up behind Mark Paul, and it was like, Mark Paul, okay, please, no, Nikki. Come on, Slater. Come on, Slater.
Let's talk about that one. After retooling the show from Good Morning Miss Bliss, what was the new name supposed to be?
I don't know.
Good Morning Bayside?
No, Tyler.
No.
No.
Something
No.
with Bayside?
I wouldn't have gotten this.
I have no idea.
When the Bell Rings.
Oh, wouldn't have. No, not at all.
According to...
Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
So much
Way
better.
Well,
Rolls off the tongue.
Way to go, y'all.
Interesting story behind it. According to producer Peter Engel, at a meeting before the show had been created, NBC president suggested that the show be given a name that used the word bell, and for some time it was titled When the Bell Rings. One of Engel's colleagues suggested the name Saved by the Bell. Engel disliked the name horribly. He didn't like it at all, but went along with it, believing someone else probably owned the rights to the phrase. NBC's legal department discovered that nobody owned the rights to the phrase. By the next day, Engel's office was covered in large banners that said, Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Good call.
Good call. Well done.
Yeah, it's a perfect name for it. It
Blair
was
likes
catchy.
it.
It's quick.
Blair likes
Saved by the
it.
Bell.
Never forget
Loved
that.
it.
No.
I mean, I'll never forget. Yeah, I remember. They did great with the music.
They did great with the music.
They did great with all of it. And it's like, the second that you hear
Very
that.
90s.
Oh my
Very
God. I would
90s.
run as soon as you hear the bell, and it was going to
yeah.
start.
All right. Let's forget everything we've done up to this point, even though it's hard to forget how badly Tyler beat Blair in this.
Oh my God. I think you did just go
But-
on.
Giggity, giggity.
Let's wipe the slate clean for this
Yes,
very
please.
Winner take all.
last winner take all trivia
Ooh.
question.
Yes. Okay.
Which actor would hide pics of his genitals on set for others to find?
Mr. Belding.
My office. Now.
How quick you just.
correct. Tyler, come on down. No.
Hey, kids, look at this.
It was one of the six.
Oh.
It's got to be Dustin Diamond
I'm going to say
or Mario Lopez.
Those are good guesses.
Elizabeth Berkley.
The correct answer is Dustin Diamond.
Of course
Yeah.
it is.
In Mario Lopez's book, Just Between Us, he writes that Diamond performed quite a few lewd acts that did not necessarily endear him to the rest of the cast. The fact that Diamond was a few years younger than everyone else, combined with the clear fact that he didn't look like his castmates, set him apart from the cool kids. Not everyone got along with Screech, aka Dustin Diamond. I did, but maybe I was the exception, he writes. He was one of those dorky kids who thought it was hilarious to take Polaroids of your genitals and leave the photos all over the set for everyone else to find.
Yeah, I could see him doing that.
Yeah, it's a very Screech thing to do.
Well, if you can't be an idiot with your friends, who can you be an idiot with?
It's a very Screech move.
Look at this bush.
That's a very Screech move.
It's a Dustin Diamond move.
All right, so that was good Saved by the Bell
Yeah,
stuff.
it was
Absolutely.
awesome. Love some Bell.
Any final thoughts? Any favorite episodes?
I mean, I'm excited to see what this reboot is. I hope everybody makes an appearance.
I'm excited for the boot.
I need to go through a Saved by the Bell marathon, starting with Good
Rewatch
Morning
it all?
Miss Bliss.
Yeah.
and
From the
I'm like,
beginning again?
Yeah.
even
cool.
even the
It
Good
got
Morning
me
Miss Bliss.
Oh yeah.
Nikki and all.
Start from the beginning.
Wow.
Nikki and all.
Tyler came prepared.
Tyler, God, was on fire tonight.
Tyler
On
came prepared.
all cylinders.
Impressed.
Well, this has been another episode of Something Crunchy.
Yeah.
And don't ever forget to live your crunchiest life.
And be crunchy to one another.
Please don't forget to subscribe, like, follow, and all that crunchy good shit. Thank you for listening.
Brandon Tarkatoff. Tarkatoff.
Pterodactyl.
Tartikoff. That's it. Brandon Tartikoff.
Tear the page.